Hello and welcome back to Castles and Legends. We are on Holy Island in Northumberland. This is our second site we have visited today. We're at Lindisfarne Priory. The priory was originally founded in the 7th century by Saint Aidan. This sacred site became a beacon of Christianity in the Anglo-Saxon world, renowned for its influential role in the spread of the faith throughout the British Isles. However, its history is not devoid of turmoil, as it endured Viking raids and political upheavals. In the year 633, Oswald, the exiled son of the defeated King Ethelfrith, emerged from exile to reclaim his rightful place. Oswald rallied his forces and prepared for battle. Legend has it that on the eve of the decisive encounter, Oswald received a divine vision, a visitation from St. Columba, who bestowed upon him words of support and encouragement. The following day, despite odds being against Oswald, he emerged victorious. In 634 AD, Oswald summoned the Irish monk Aidan, destined to be known as Saint Aidan, to help spread the word of Christianity and convert the Anglo-Saxons from paganism to Christianity. He generously granted the island of Lindisfarne for the establishment of a monastery in the heart of the Northumbrian kingdom. For the subsequent 240 years following its establishment, Lindisfarne served as both a monastery and the seat of a bishop. According to Bede's account, dating back to the 660s, the monastery comprised of only a handful of essential structures for the sustenance of the community. There was a church, but its exact location has become obscured by the passage of time. Now let's move on to St. Cuthbert. In the year 651, Cuthbert embarked on a profound spiritual journey. Leaving behind his life as a shepherd, he joined the monastery at Melrose as a monk. In the 670s, Cuthbert's arrival at Lindisfarne marked the commencement of a transformative era for the monastery. Cuthbert embarked on a mission to reform the monastic rule. The reforms sparked considerable discord among the monks of Lindisfarne, leading to simmering tensions. Cuthbert ultimately made the decision to retire and retreat to the solitude of the island of Innerfarne. Behind me, you can see St. Cuthbert's Island, where when he chose to live a life of solitude as a hermit, he first lived before moving on to the island of Innerfarne. In 685 AD, Cuthbert was forced out of retirement by King Ecgfrith and made Bishop of Hexham and later Lindisfarne. Cuthbert became renowned for his abilities as a pastor, seer and healer. In 687, Cuthbert, perhaps sensing the approach of his earthly end, withdrew back to his hermitage on Innerfarne and died there shortly after. Despite Cuthbert's expressed desire to be laid to rest on Innerfarne, the monks of Lindisfarne made the decision to bring his body back to the monastery and bury him in the church. 11 years after his burial, the monks sought to transfer his remains. They were astounded to find his body in an incorrupt state. They interpreted this as divine affirmation of Cuthbert's saintly status. Soon after, reports of miracles began to proliferate at St. Cuthbert's shrine, and Lindisfarne became a major pilgrimage site. Between 700 and 725 AD, the Lindisfarne Gospels were created at Lindisfarne. This extraordinary work of art represents a splendid copy of the Latin New Testament, adorned with exquisite illustrations and ornate decorations. The 8th of June, 793, marked a pivotal moment for the community of Lindisfarne, as Viking longships were seen on the horizon. This incursion signalled one of the earliest and most savage assaults on English soil by Viking raiders. The attack held particular significance as it targeted one of England's most revered religious sites. By 873 AD, Viking armies were moving into Northumbria, and in 875 AD, the monks at Lindisfarne fled, taking with them St. Cuthbert's coffin and his relics. Eventually, these sacred artefacts found their resting place in Durham Cathedral, where they remain to this day. Having said that, in 1069, St. Cuthbert's relics were temporarily returned to Lindisfarne. This event coincided with the establishment of Lindisfarne Priory, serving as an outpost for Durham Cathedral. It is believed that it was in the 1120s that the church we see today was built on the site of the old monastery. The late 13th century saw escalating tensions between England and Scotland, resulting in King Edward I of England invading Scotland in 1296. This military campaign placed Lindisfarne directly within the contested frontier zone between the two nations. Prior to the war, the Scottish kings were significant purchasers of corn from Lindisfarne's mainland estates, contributing substantially to the priory's revenues. However, the hostilities disrupted this trade, causing a significant downturn in income for Lindisfarne. The dwindling financial resources led to a gradual decline in the number of monks residing at Lindisfarne. By 1345, the monk population had already halved from its previous count of 10, and further dwindled to only 2 or 3 by the early 15th century. With the priory being so close to the English-Scottish border, they were obliged to fortify it. However, once they had fortified it, the monks were concerned they did not have the resources to defend it from potentially falling into enemy hands, and requested to dismantle the fortifications. But the request was ignored. The accounts from the 15th century provide insight into the relatively comfortable lifestyle enjoyed by the monks who remained at Lindisfarne. Exotic foods such as ginger, almonds, and olive oil were purchased. Additionally, renovations and improvements to the church, such as the installation of new windows, indicate ongoing efforts to maintain and enhance the priory's infrastructure. Despite the relative comfort afforded to the monks, it appears that life may have lacked excitement for some monks. This is supported by a letter from Durham in 1485, where 2 monks are reprimanded for engaging in games of dice and frequenting taverns. During the reign of King Henry VIII, life at Lindisfarne changed forever. Following Henry's break with Catholicism and the Pope, he began the dissolution of the monasteries. Many religious centres were taken into the Crown's control, their assets stripped and then closed. This fate befell Lindisfarne in 1537. In the 1540s, 3 earth and timber defences were built around the harbour on Lindisfarne Island, and the priory buildings were used as storage. The priory buildings eventually fell out of use in the early 17th century. Over time, without ongoing maintenance and upkeep, the structures gradually succumbed to decay and neglect, eventually becoming ruins. Today, Lindisfarne Priory is looked after and cared for by the English Heritage. They also have a small museum on the site which has artefacts dating all the way back to the 7th century. Archaeologists are still making exciting discoveries at Holy Island. During excavations in 2016 and 2017, they uncovered stone foundations close to Lindisfarne Priory, which were interpreted as the remains of an Anglo-Saxon church. Stay tuned to the end of the video and I'll add some photos of these. Oh, what a place, what an island. It has been so enjoyable today here on Holy Island. We also earlier visited Lindisfarne Castle. Do check that video out. You might be able to see it, the castle that is, just over in the background there. Well, thank you so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please give it a like. And if you've not already, think about subscribing to our channel. And I hope I see you on our next adventure very soon. Bye for now.